Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to install the SSF kit that I provide. It really has with all the components, and this is basically what you get out of the box. There's this mounting bar, you get a power supply with the power wires already attached to it, and each of the amplifiers with all the wires already pre-attached. So each of these wires, you'll see they'll be attached to the power supply, and they have the terminal connectors so that you can plug them directly into your speakers. You can also optionally get the 7.1 channel sound card. I've actually already mounted mine underneath here, and as well as the bass shaker, which I also mounted directly underneath the cabinet here. I'll show you that when it's all done. Those are pretty easy to mount, so I didn't even bother wasting time doing that. So first thing you want to do is just take this mounting bar, and this is just something that I provide. It makes it so that you can mount all these power supplies really easily underneath your cabinet. Basically just slide it right underneath the top of these. Okay, so usually goes a little easier than that. There we go. So underneath that one, and underneath the last one. And space them out like this so that they're kind of the way you want them. And the nice part about this is when you mount it underneath your cabinet, you'll have a really secure mount, and you can turn those knobs. You don't have to worry about it falling off. I tried double-sided tape, but it's just not reliable depending on what kind of material you have underneath your cabinet. If you've got MDF or something, it's just not the best material to use for holding these up. But this works really, really well, and it'll work with all the different amplifiers. You've got the wider ones or the thinner ones. So I provide that, and this is probably the most difficult part, is just going under there and getting this thing mounted up. But once you have it mounted, it's really not too bad. You could actually just mount the bar, one screw on the bar, and then slide them on. That's a little tricky too, so I don't know, this seems to work out okay. The main thing to be thinking about is each amplifier, putting it in the right spot. So see, this amplifier has the longer wires attached to it. This is going to go to the back of the cabinet. These ones with really short stubbies, these go to your actual main speakers that are in the back box or wherever you actually have them. And then these shorter wires are going to go to the two front speakers in the cabinet, or the exciters, the two front exciters in the cabinet. And then this one is the sub output, so that'll go to the subwoofer as well. And I matched that up with the actual 7.1 channel. If you look at the inputs to that are in the same location, so it just makes it easier to hook everything up. So yeah, I'll mount these guys in a minute, and then I'll show you the power supply and other things too. So let's do that real quick. Again, like I said, this is going to be a little awkward, but I'll do my best to get this up here. It comes with some screws, and like I said, initially I'm just going to do it pretty lightly. It doesn't have to be fully mounted. And you're just going to put it right up to the lip of the thing, of the cabinet, and then put the screw into the side of the cabinet. So they're a little bit longer screws, but so as long as you put them in the side of the cabinet, obviously you're not going to go through anything. Okay, so I got both of those mounted, and you can see now I can kind of move these power supplies right where I want them. And there's labels on the top of these power supplies, so you can see what the volume, what the bass is, and everything, and you can kind of just leave it sticking out just a little bit out there so that you can see the labels real nicely. And then secure a couple more screws in the center. So I'll do that. These should be pretty solid now. And mostly straight. I can still tighten them up a little more. I just want to make sure they're all where I want them. And then I'll go ahead and tighten them down. There we go. And now, not going anywhere. So all my power supplies are good, installed, ready to go there. All right, so got my cables dangling down. The next step I'm going to do is put the power supply in place. So that's going to go inside my cabinet, and I'll just move this over here so you can see where this will go. And again, all the screws are already mounted into it. I pre-drilled a very small hole right there. You can probably barely even see it. It's probably maybe a little bit too small, but it actually works. I mean, it's perfect. You can fit all the wires inside of it. So I'm just going to feed my power wires into that little hole and then put my power supply in place. And I'm going to run this power wire over here like this. Just want to, again, these wires, I keep them short, and I do that on purpose because you end up with a really clean install. And long wires are the enemy of a clean install. If you've got too long of wires, then you'll have wires just everywhere in your cabinet. If you keep them pretty short and organized, then it's not bad at all. So got my power supply wires mounted down. I'm going to go back underneath and feed my my wires up that were already attached to the power supplies. Okay. Power supply wires are coming down, and I can even plug those in if I want. Might as well while I'm down in here. So first one, power plug. All my power wires are plugged in. And now I'm just going to start running my wires. So this is my my back right wire. You'll probably see it going up there. So back right. Pull that all the way up. Make sure it's pulled all the way up. Yes, it is. And I also pre-mounted the exciter speakers. Those are really easy to mount. You just pull off some peel and stick tape and stick them in place. The main thing to be aware of is when you're doing that, make sure that the orientation of the speakers, it doesn't matter, the orientation doesn't matter, but where these pins come out does matter because you need to be able to plug them in. So just make sure they're facing in a good direction. So I just plugged in the first one. Since the plugs are on there, it's really pretty simple. That's my back right. And now I'll get my back left. Feed this guy up. Okay. I could have fed them all up at the same time, but it's just nice to be able to know, oh, this is the left one, this is the right one. Otherwise, it can be a little bit difficult to tell which one is which once they're already run up there. Okay, left. I might want to zip tie these in some particular way in the future, but right now that's fine. And then my front right. Run that guy up. Front right. And it's just so easy because everything's already pre-wired. You just plug them in basically. You know, I opted to go with these Dayton Audio Cells, different speakers of course, and I opted to go with these particular brands. They're just these 40-watt speakers are just so much better than the smaller ones that they sell. I know a lot of people use the smaller ones, but man, it's amazing the difference in audio quality. So yeah, I just had to go with them, and they cost a little bit more, but I do think it's worth it for your virtual pinball machine. You'll be happy you did it. the upfront cost is a little bit more, but really, the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. The most difficult part is the wiring form is a lot trickier. But of course, since I have everything pre-wired for you, you don't need any special crimp connectors since I already have everything included. So, they're all connected, power supply is connected, and I'm just going to go underneath here one more time. Connect up my audio cables, and I'll be all done. It's amazing how easy it is to do. And I'll show you the end result so you can see it too. This thing is my sub wire. Or I guess they call it the base shaker. Kind of looks like a sub, but it's a base shaker. Okay. And I'll just give you a brief look. So that's pretty much the whole install right there. And like I said, I'll give you a brief look of what it looks like underneath the cabinet too. So I have my 4 exciters, 1, 2, 3, 4, all hooked up. And then underneath, again, since my wires are pretty short, there's the base shaker. There's all my amps with the wires running to them. That's a 7.1 channel sound card. That'll be mounted with a couple mounts, USB cables going out, and it's pretty much it. It's about as simple as it gets when it comes to doing an install, and the results are just awesome. And it's cool how you've got your different volume levels here now. So this is for the back box right here. This guy goes to the back box. This goes to the back exciter speakers, and this one's for the front exciter speakers. So it kind of makes sense too, based on where they are, for which thing they're adjusting, because it's kind of in line. Back box, middle, and then front. And you are ready to go, ready to enjoy SSF in your pinball machine with this kit. All right, thank you everyone. Hope you enjoyed that little video, and until next time, enjoy playing some pinball.